Hi guys, and thanks for clicking into Mike's Bites. This is where we changing the world starts with changing how we look at it. I'm Mike Coutling, coming to you from high atop a 3-story walk-up. And it's been 5 months since my last confession. I know, it has been a while. And in case you haven't noticed, it's been about that long since I posted anything on social media too. Well, I've been busy in the real world. Like I said in my last video blog back in July, as I was expecting work to pick up, and man, has it ever. Between the road, the home office, and the office at home, I've been putting in an average 18 hours a day, figuratively 8 days a week. Well, at least that's how it feels anyway. And no, I'm not complaining. Quite the contrary, actually, I'm kind of liking it. But don't tell anybody. I don't want to give people the wrong impression. All work and no play may make Johnny a Jill boy, but not Mikey boy. However, it does mean less time trolling the internet and stealing my missives on the public. And not too much time for couch surfing either. And perhaps that's another reason I've been in such a good mood lately. Well, I'll tell you. Although work was the reason I couldn't get on social media back in the beginning, I'm sure if I wanted to, I could have got on a line a few times to scroll through what people are posting and to give a like or two. But in all honesty, I've chosen to give the virtual world a timeout for the sake of our friendship in the real world. Well, Pilgrim, that's because there's two kinds of people in the world. Givers and takers. No, that's not it. Winners and losers. Nah, that's not. Well, yeah, but that's not it either. How about redheads and those who wish they were? Well, true. That's not exactly what I want to talk about either. The two types of people I want to talk about here are idiots and a-holes. Yep, idiots and a-holes. And like it or not, you're either one or the other. That includes yours truly. Well, why is that? Well, let's start with the idiots. There are a lot of definitions for an idiot, and they pretty much refer to a stupid person. And the assumption by many is that stupidity is inherent. So either nature or nurture has conspired somehow to create a stupid person, and that makes them an idiot. Yeah. But the thing is, just about everybody I've ever met is a smart person. Just as smart or even smarter than me. And yet most of them are idiots. Well, that's because an idiot is not necessarily a stupid person, but a person who has done something stupid. So we're all doing something stupid or have done something stupid at some time or other. That is, we've all done something that has worked against our own best interest. And a lot of time it couldn't be helped. We just can't know all the consequences of all our choices. So most of the time, we didn't realize what we were doing was stupid until after the fact. We learn from our mistakes, but that means we got to make mistakes in order to learn. And believe me, we're always learning, even if we don't realize it. Even as sexy sexagenarians. Anyone who says they don't make mistakes is either an idiot or a liar. And even if it was true and you never did make a mistake, going around telling everybody you're perfect rarely works in your best interest, thus making you an idiot. Perhaps more accurate to say we're always being presented with opportunities to learn. Which brings us to that other group, the a-holes. An a-hole, at least for me, is an idiot that refuses to accept they're an idiot. And I'm sure there's a few of them on your lives and on your friends list. Not you, of course, but somebody. Let's try a couple examples here. For example, people who think it's not them but everyone else who has the problem. How about people who are obsessed with a single issue, who post the same opinion over and over again, and trying to convince everybody to see the same sad world they do? And show contempt for anyone who doesn't agree with them totally. Or shows contempt when they can't realize that someone is actually agreeing with them, but hasn't expressed it in a way they like. How about people keep making the same mistakes over and over again, then trying to rationalize it away with conspiracies or some flaw in some other group of people? How about people who like showing the world how messed up their lives are, but still seem intent on expressing how their superiority over others in the one thing that they think they're good at? And another example are people who don't know the difference between an objective critique and a spiteful criticism, who only comment on your posts and comments just to tell you just how wrong you are and how stupid that makes you. Otherwise, you don't ever hear from them. So when can you tell someone has crossed the line from idiot to a-hole? Well, I guess that's pretty much a judgment call. For me, it often depends on how that person has responded to something I've put out there. When it's become obvious that they're never going to change. In the real world, for me, I can get along with most idiots and a-holes. After all, it's just people doing people things. And I try to keep to the old adage, let he who without sin cast the first stone. I'm an idiot, just like everyone else. And if I'm being honest, I've been an a-hole from time to time, too. Thing is, social media is a tool. It's an extension of ourselves that expands and intensifies the influence we have on the world around us. The way a hammer is an extension of our fist. And like all tools, the potential to do great harm or great good is relative to the intention and skill of the operator. I've recently come to the conclusion that it doesn't really matter how the ignorance of some is only matched by the arrogance of some others, or the irony of arrogance being a consequence of ignorance, and ignorance is a consequence of arrogance. What matters is that our ignorance and arrogance, in my opinion, is turning our social media pages into toxic swamps. We have been presented with the greatest opportunity to learn in the history of the species. That is to discover our mistaken assumptions about the human condition and the world around us, and to grow from that experience. Unfortunately, too many people who in the real world I admire and whose opinion I respect, are choosing to be a-holes instead of idiots. We may all be either an idiot or an a-hole, but not everyone online is being an idiot or an a-hole. Some people just want to get online and want to share their experiences with the world, and that's quite all right. But social media is like a bad marriage. There's always going to be some good with the bad. A bad marriage usually ends when one party decides there's more bad than good, or they get emotionally exhausted and just give up. There's an old adage, the key to happiness is to rid yourself of toxic people, which is why, in order to continue to see the beauty of the people in the real world, for the time being at least, I'm choosing to close my eyes to the ugliness of people in the virtual world. And so far it's working. These days I feel like a president on COVID drugs. I haven't felt this positive, this energetic, this optimistic about the future of mankind in, I can't remember when I ever felt this good. It's either from taking a break from social media or that I've cut wheat flour out of my diet. Either way, tomorrow I'll be back to work and won't have much time to think about it either way. So I'm not going to ask you what you think, but I do hope you think about it. And don't hesitate to give this a like, even if you didn't like it. So until things slow down again in the real world, take care, stay safe, and don't be an a-hole. Now go be the heroes of your own stories. Mikey out.